If you're over 60 or approaching retirement, you've probably heard someone say this. You should convert your IRA to a Roth. Sometimes it's presented as a no-brainer. Sometimes it's framed as urgent. And sometimes it's pitched like it solves every retirement tax problem. But here's the truth. Roth conversions after age 60 can be incredibly powerful, and they can also be completely unnecessary or even costly if done at the wrong time. So today, I want to walk through when Roth conversions after age 60 actually make sense and when they don't. Not from a hype perspective, from a structural perspective, because a Roth conversion is not about excitement, it's about tax timing. Let's start with the basics. A Roth conversion simply means moving money from a traditional IRA into a Roth IRA. When you do that, you pay income tax on the amount converted in the year of the conversion. After that, the money grows tax-free, and future withdrawals from the Roth are tax-free. So the core trade-off is simple. Pay taxes now, or pay taxes later. That's it. The entire decision comes down to which tax rate you're paying now versus which tax rate you're likely to pay later. But after age 60, that calculation becomes more nuanced, because you're closer to retirement income realities, closer to required minimum distributions, closer to Medicare IRMAA thresholds, closer to Social Security taxation. So let's break this into situations where Roth conversions after 60 often make sense, and situations where they often don't. First scenario where they make sense. You've recently retired, you're 62, 63, maybe 64. You stopped working, your wage income dropped significantly, but you haven't started Social Security yet, and you're not yet taking RMDs. This period, between retirement and age 73, is often called a tax valley. Income temporarily dips. That dip can create lower tax bracket space. If you convert part of your traditional IRA during those lower income years, you may be able to fill up the 12% bracket or part of the 22% bracket intentionally, instead of waiting until RMDs force larger withdrawals later. That's one of the strongest cases for Roth conversions after 60. You're controlling the timing. You're choosing the bracket. You're smoothing future taxes. Second scenario where Roth conversions often make sense. You expect RMDs to be large. If your traditional IRA balance is significant, say $700,000, $1 million or more, your required minimum distributions at age 73 could be substantial. Those forced withdrawals can push you into higher tax brackets, increase the taxable portion of Social Security, trigger Medicare IRMAA premium increases. If you gradually reduce your traditional IRA balance through partial Roth conversions before RMD age, you may reduce those future mandatory withdrawals. Smaller RMDs mean less forced income stacking. Again, this is not about eliminating taxes, it's about smoothing them. Third scenario, you're concerned about leaving taxable accounts to heirs. Traditional IRAs passed to children are taxable to them. Under current Secure Act rules, most non-spouse beneficiaries must withdraw inherited IRAs within 10 years. That can create large taxable distributions for your heirs during their peak earning years. Converting to Roth during your lifetime means your heirs inherit tax-free money. If you're in a lower bracket now than your children will likely be later, that can make sense. Now let's talk about situations where Roth conversions after 60 often do not make sense. First, you're already in a high tax bracket. If you're still working and earning strong income in your early 60s, adding a Roth conversion on top of that income could push you into significantly higher marginal brackets. Converting at 32% today just to avoid paying 22% later doesn't help. Tax arbitrage only works if the future rate is likely to be equal or higher. Second situation, you don't expect large RMDs. If your traditional IRA balance is modest and your projected RMDs will remain inside lower tax brackets, the urgency to convert decreases. You may not need aggressive tax smoothing. Sometimes the simplest plan, taking RMDs when required, is completely sufficient. Third situation, you plan to relocate to a lower tax state later. If you're currently living in a high state income tax environment and expect to move to a no-tax state in retirement, converting before moving could increase your total tax burden unnecessarily. Geography matters. Fourth, you don't have outside funds to pay the conversion tax. Ideally, Roth conversion taxes should be paid with money outside the IRA. If you withdraw money from the IRA to pay the tax, you reduce the long-term compounding power of the account. And if you're under 59.5, that creates penalty issues, though after 60, that's usually less of a concern. Still, paying taxes externally preserves the full converted balance for tax-free growth. Now let's layer in Medicare IRMAA. This is where many retirees miscalculate. Roth conversions increase adjusted gross income. That income affects Medicare premium tiers, and IRMAA uses a 2-year look-back. So a large conversion at age 65 could increase your Medicare premiums at 67. That doesn't mean you shouldn't convert. It just means you must model the total impact. Sometimes a slightly smaller annual conversion avoids crossing a premium threshold. Precision matters. Social Security adds another layer. If you've already started receiving Social Security, a Roth conversion increases provisional income. That can cause a greater portion of your benefits to become taxable. In certain income ranges, that creates the so-called tax torpedo effect. Again, it's structural, not emotional, but it must be modeled. Now let's talk strategy. The most disciplined approach to Roth conversions after 60 is incremental. Not all at once, not dramatic. Gradual. Each year, you look at your current taxable income. You calculate how much room remains in your current tax bracket. Then you convert only enough to fill that space, without spilling into the next bracket unless intentional. That's bracket management. It requires planning, but it prevents over-converting. Another important consideration is sequence. If you plan to delay Social Security until 70, that delay window can be powerful for Roth conversions. Lower income plus no RMDs, yet equals bracket opportunity. After Social Security begins and RMDs start, flexibility narrows, which is why the years between retirement and 73 are often prime Roth conversion years. Now let's address a misconception. A Roth conversion is not automatically smart. It is not automatically tax efficient. It is a timing decision. It depends on your current bracket, your projected RMD size, your Medicare exposure, your Social Security timing, your estate goals, your state tax situation. There is no universal answer. But there is a structured process. If you're over 60 and evaluating Roth conversions, here's a simple checklist. First, estimate your projected RMD at age 73. Second, review your current marginal tax bracket. Third, examine Medicare IRMAA thresholds. Fourth, evaluate whether Social Security has started. Fifth, consider your estate goals, then model scenarios. Not emotionally, mathematically. Some retirees convert aggressively and regret it. Others never convert and regret that. The difference is usually modeling. Roth conversions are a tool, and like any tool, they work best when used intentionally. After 60, the window narrows gradually, but it doesn't disappear. The key is understanding whether paying tax today reduces more tax tomorrow. That's the only real question. If this breakdown helped clarify the decision, let me know in the comments whether you're already retired or still working in your 60s. In the next video, we can go deeper into how Roth conversions interact with Medicare IRMAA in detail. Retire smarter. I'll see you in the next one.